Welcome back to Snippet Coder, and we are back in another video. In this video, we will learn how to send push notification to Flutter application using Node.js API and OneSignal. So you can see here, this is our application. In the left hand side, you can see here, this is our API. And from here, we will send a notification to our device. So here, if I click on the send, now you can see here we have got the notification, test push notification. If I remove it and if I again click on the send, you can see here we are getting the push notification. So we are going to cover two things. First one is a send notification to all device, and second one is a send notification to specific device. So before starting the video, if you are new to our channel, subscribe the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you. So first of all, we will create our API in Node.js, and in that API we will have two endpoints. First one is for sending notification to all devices, and the second one will be for sending the notification to the specific device. So here is our project. So now we will create our project, and here we will run the command npm init. It will initialize the Node.js project. It will ask for the package name, then version, then we have the description, entry point, then we have the test command, repository, keywords, author, license, and it is asking for the confirmation. We will put here yes. So now our Node.js project is ready. So now here we will install our packages. We required only two packages. First one will be npm install express. After this we required one more package, npm install, and that will be nodemon, and we will save it. So our Node.js API is ready. So now we will create a folder structure, and first of all we will create a new folder that will be for our config. Then we will create one more folder, then will be services. Then again we will create one more folder that will be for the controllers. One more folder is required that will be used for routing and all. And here we will create one index file also, index.js. And here we will write the code constant express is equal to require express, and this will be like importing the package here. Then here we have constant app is equal to express, and this will be for creating the object for that express. Then here we have app.use express.json. Then we have to use a routing and all, and here we will put app.use, and the endpoint will be API, and here we will put the path for our routing and all ./routes. Here we will create the new file later on, app.routes, and all the routing of the application will come in this file. Then here we will start our server, and we will put here app.listen. Here we have process.environment.port, and we are using it 4000. If any port is not defined in the environment file, then here we have function, and here we will write console.log ready to go. So what we did here, we have created one index.js file. There we have created the object for our express. Then here we are using app.use, and here we are putting express.json. Then here we have app.use, and here we are using that routing and all, and here we are using app.use, and here we are putting endpoint API. Then we are putting here path for our file, app.routes file. So now we will go to our config folder, and there we will create new file, and we will name it as a app.config.js file. And here we will create constant one_signal_config, and here we will pass our app ID and our app API key that we will fetch from our OneSignal account. Here we have app_id, and here we have app API_key. Then here we will do the export and all, module.export is equal to, and here we will pass this OneSignal config. So now let's go to the browser to see how to fetch our app ID and API key from our OneSignal account. So this is the website onesignal.com, and here we are using onesignal.com for our push notification and all. And here we will log into our system. So we have opened our app. So this is our app which we have already created. And here if I go to our settings, then here you can see keys and IDs. You have to click here, and here you can see OneSignal app ID. You have to copy this, and then you can see here REST API key, and then you have to copy this, and that you have to put in our app.config file. So now let's move to the Node.js code, and here we have to put the app ID, and then here we have to put the API key. So now let's move further. We will go to our service folder, and there we will create one new file, and we will name it as a push-notification.services.js. And here we will use our app.config. For that we will create here constant one_signal_config is equal to require. We will fetch from our config folder /app.config. Here we will create one function with async function send notification. Here we have the data, then we have the callbacks. Here basically we have to do the REST API calling and all to our OneSignal server with that parameters which we will provide from our controller, and then it will hit the OneSignal account. Then there it will send a push notification to all the devices or any particular device. And here we have to create where headers, and here we have content type application/JSON charset is equal to UTF-8. Then here we have to provide authorization, and here we are using basic. Then here we will pass OneSignal.API key. Then here we will get the options. Here we will get one variable for options. Here we will pass host name and it will be onesignal.com. Then we have the port number. We are using here 443 because we are going to hit our HTTP. Then here we have the path here, and this will be the endpoint for the OneSignal/API/v1/notifications. Then we have the method here, and we are using here post method. Then we have the headers here, and we are using here headers with this variable. Then we will require HTTPS is equal to require HTTPS. Then here we will get the request here where request HTTPS dot request. Here we will pass the options. Then here we have the function. Here the response which we are getting from the request. And here we will put request dot on data function data. Here we can also console write the request console.log JSON.parse, because whatever data we are getting that will be in the JSON format. And from here we will return callback. So here we are not getting any error. We will put here null as a first parameter. Then here we will copy this one and we will paste here as a response. Then for the error we will put here request.on error function. Here we have the error and we will return here callback, and the message we are passing here this variable as error. And here we will write request.write JSON.signify data request.end. Then here we will do module.export is equal to send notification. So what we are doing here, we have created one function send notification, and here we have two parameters. First one will be the data, then we have the callback, and here we have the headers, then we have the options here. In the header we have content type, then we have the authorization, that is basic authorization with the API key. Then we have the options here, and here we have host name, port number, path, then we have the method, then we have our headers here. Then here we are creating the object for the HTTPS, then we are doing the request to the HTTPS.request by passing the options here. Then we are getting the data here. So here whatever the data we are getting with the response, then we are passing that result to our callback to the response. And here we are doing our on error processing and all. Then here we are writing it, and then we are putting here end. Then here we are just exporting it. So now let's move further. We will create our controller file. So inside the controller folder we will create new file push-notification.controllers.js file, and here we will import our variables OneSignal is equal to require config/app-config. Then we have to import our service file constant push notification service, and we have require /service folder /push notification service. And here we will create export.send notification is equal to request response next. And here we will create the object for sending the message where message is equal to, then we have the app ID app_id, and we are using from OneSignal config.app_id. Then we have the contents here, and the content will be the message which will go to our push notification. And here we will put test push notification. If we want to send in any other language also we can do. We are just doing for the English language. Then we have the included_segments, and this means notification will go to all the devices. Then we have the content_available true, and this variable is very important in our iOS device. If we make it true, then only that push notification will work in the background also. Then we have the icons here. We can put here the icons which we want to show in the notification, and by default we are using IC_notification_icon. This can be used from our Android folder. Then we have the data here. This is for sending any custom data if you want to send, and here we are just sending one data, that is push title custom notification. We can also send any IDs also if we want. If we are linking it with the database, then in that case we require the IDs and all that also we can send from here. Then from here we will call our push notification service push notification service dot send notification, and here we will pass message. Then we have the error, results. These are the callbacks. Then here we will check if error. Then we will return here next error. Else we will return here response dot status 200. That means request is valid and we got the data also. And here we will pass the message success, and the data we will pass whatever data we are getting from the API. So what we did here, we have created one function export.send notification, and here we have request, response, or next. Then here we are getting one object that is message, and there we are passing app ID. Then we have the content here, then we have the included segment, then we have the content available, then we have the small icon, then we have the data here. Then here we are just calling our push notification service, and here we are just calling our send notification, and here we are just passing this variable as a parameter. Then here we are getting the callbacks, and here we are checking if the error. Then we are returning here error. Else by default we are just calling here response.status 200. That means it is a valid request, and here we are just passing the message as a success, and the data, whatever the data we are getting from the OneSignal API, we are just passing here. So now we will copy this function and we will paste here, and we will rename it to send notification to device. So what it will do, this function will send a notification to particular device, and here we are just change it the included segment to included underscore player underscore IDs. So this means included player ID means it will send notification to only those devices which we are just passing to this request. And here we will just include one more variable, that will be include underscore player IDs, and here we will get from our request dot body dot devices. So rest of the code is same, so we don't have to do anything. So our controller is also ready. So now let's move to the last part, that will be our routing and all, and here we will create a new file that will be app.routes.js file, and here we have constant push notification controller is equal to require controller slash push notification. Then here we have the constant express is equal to require express. Then we have the constant router is equal to express dot router. Then here we will call router dot get request, because we don't have to send any data from here. That's why we are doing here get request. Send notification will be the endpoint, and here we will assign it with our push notification controller dot send notification, and we will copy this, we will paste here, and here we will change it to send notification to device. We will copy this name and we will paste here, and we will make it as a post request because here we have to post our device ID and all. Then here we have module dot exports is equal to routers. So our API is ready. So let's start the API to test that is it working or not. And here we will put nodemon.js. So here we are getting ready to go. That means our API is ready. So now we will open our Thunder client, and here we will put our first API. We will put here localhost :4000. That will be the port on which the API is working, slash API, our endpoint. Then we have our API call, that is send notification, and we are doing here get request. Now we will click here send. So we are getting here some error. So we are getting some error here as we have not added any API key, and also that we will add. Then we will test is it because of that or not. So now let's re-click again. So again we are getting some error here. So it is working now. The issue is because of we forgot to change it to JSON as an object. So now we will change it to JSON. Previously it is like this way. So now if I click again on the send request, you can see here we are getting the response from the server, that is success message. Then we are getting the ID that is generated for that request, and it is saying a receptance. That means that notification has been sent to 4 IDs, and here we have that external ID that is null. This is the response which is coming from the OneSignal. So now we will change it to post request, and here we will change the method to send notification to device, and here we have to put the body. Inside the body we request the devices as a parameter. If we go to our controller, here you can see we have that devices as a parameter in the body. We'll put here, and here, and we will make the array here like 1, 2. So this will be basically our player ID that we will get from our Flutter application. I will explain you over there. I am just putting a dummy to see. So here we are getting an incorrect player ID because the ID which we are sending here is not a valid UDID. That's why it's giving us the error. That means our API is working fine, but we have not the valid data. That data we will get when we start with our Flutter application. So now our API is ready. So now let's move further for our Flutter application. So this is a folder where we are going to create the Flutter application, and here we will run the command flutter create dot. It will create the Flutter application in this folder. So here we have our Flutter application is ready. So now we will add our package which we are going to use. So this is the package which we are going to use, that is onesignal_flutter, and this is the official package from onesignal.com, and all the integration installation guide is over in this package. You can follow the same to integrate it. We will just copy this in our PubSpec. Here we will add the package. So now we will remove the unnecessary code also, which is not required. And here we will create one page, that is home page, not .file, and we will make it as a stateful visit home page. And we will link it with our main page. So now we will write our code here. So the OneSignal integration is very simple. It is just a 2 line of code which we need to do. And here in the build, we will add here scaffold visit. Here we have the app bar. We will add the title here, Node.js OneSignal, and we will use it text visit. Elevation we are using a 0, and here we have the background color, and we are using a color start gray color 200. Then we have the body, and we are using a center visit, and we are using a text visit. In the child we are using a text visit push notification, and here we will create one function of future void initialize platform, and we will make it as a async here. And here we have await OneSignal. We will import the package here, and here we will put dot share dot set app ID, and this will be the app ID which we have noted from our onesignal.com, and also we have used in our Node.js application. We will put here, and here we have await OneSignal dot share dot get device state dot 10, and it will give us our device ID, that will be our player ID, and that we will use to send a notification to specific device and all. And here we will print it value dot user ID, and here we have to have override void initialize state super dot initialize state, and here we will call this initialize platform function. So now our push notification indication is done. So now we will run the application to see is it working or not, and we are getting the user ID or not. We will open the console also in that case, and here we will start the application. So here our application is working. So now you can see here we are also getting the player ID also. This is the ID. So now let's note down this ID so that we will use in our API for testing the specific ID notification part and all. So now we will go to our push notification code, and from there we will send a notification to the device and to see is it working or not. So this is our push notification, and from here we will click on the send request. So here you can see we have got the notification, that is push notification, and again if I click on anything, you can see here we are getting the notification here, and that means our integration is working fine. Now we will do the last step of the video, that is by sending a notification to specific device, and for that we have to put here send notification to device, and this one we will make it to post, and from here we have the body, and here we will pass our player ID and all. Here we will have devices. Here we will put our device ID, and first we will put our any dummy. Now we will click on the send. You can see here we are getting incorrect player ID and all. So now we will copy paste the ID which we have received from our OneSignal for this specific device, and we will paste here. So now you can see here we don't have any notification here, and here if I click on the send, we are getting here success, and here also you can see here we have received the notification also. And for make sure it is working fine, we will change the API. And in the case of that send notification to device, we will make it as a specific device test notification. So now if I again, and from here I will remove the notification. So now if I again click on the send request, you can see here we are getting a notification with the title specific device test push notification. So that means our specific device push notification is also working fine. So that's all in this video. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. I will come back soon with another awesome video. Thank you for watching the video.